Hey guys, this is Aunt Pam coming live from Houston, Texas. And tonight I'm going to actually go over a few steps that I have when it comes to wholesaling properties, and I do this in the Houston area. And can you guys do me a huge favor when you join in? Do me a huge favor and just let me know where you guys are coming from or where you're from. Hey, what's going on? Is that who is that? Oh, my buddy out there in Crosby. What's going on, Sharonda? Glad to have you on here. All right, cool. Can you guys hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, do me a favor, hit some hearts for me. If you can hear me okay. Okay, all right, okay. So I don't see any hearts, so you guys can't hear me? That's only one heart. I need more than one heart. All right, cool. Anyway, with my business, I keep it very simple when it comes to wholesaling properties here in Houston. I actually, hey Sandy, I actually have, 14 steps. And the very first step starts with the mindset, okay? And you will see it right here. It says step 0, okay? Forget about marketing, forget about answering your phone, forget about title companies, forget about negotiating, forget about all of that stuff. If you do not have your mind wrapped around this business, you're going to have a very hard time, okay? You basically have to change the way you think, all right? This is not like, you know, going to college, getting a degree, and all that other stuff. This is a very, very simple concept that requires a lot of work, okay? Everything starts here with the mindset. Every single thing starts right here with the mindset, okay? Say, for an example, as a pharmacist, right? I'm also a pharmacist. And as a pharmacist, we're taught that everything has to be perfect. We cannot make a mistake, okay? But in the business of real estate, we're dealing with people's lives to a certain degree. However, it does not mean that someone's life is dependent upon it as far as life or death, okay? So for me as a pharmacist, when I first got into business, it was like, this stuff doesn't really make sense because it's not what I'm used to. I'm actually used to, you know, I go to class, I take notes, I got to take an exam, and then after all of this stuff is over, then maybe I can go out and make money, okay? That is so far from the truth. But anyway, one of my students, Wale, I don't think he's on here. I'm not sure if he's on Periscope yet or not. But anyway, it took him about 4 or 5 months to get his mind right, okay? It took him about 4 or 5 months to get his thinking right. And finally, after he was able to do that, we were able to close the deal and we made $19,000. But it was not until he decided to get his mind together, because when he got involved with the business, he thought it was a lot easier than it was. He didn't realize there's really work involved in this business. So anyway, like I said, the mindset. One of the things that helps me out every day is affirmations. Some of you guys may have heard of affirmations. It's just positive speaking, it's positive reading. Every day when I get up in the morning, and I'm not going to make this a religious thing, but I read a scripture. I try to make sure I don't have a whole lot of hell in me throughout the day, but I read a scripture every day, okay? With positive affirmations, you look at those affirmations and you think of, say, 10 things every single morning. You think of 10 different things that you're grateful and thankful for, and you consider those your positive affirmations, okay? So say, for an example, real quick, somebody put on here, just type in the comment section, name me one thing that you're grateful and thankful for, real quick. Type in one thing that you're grateful and thankful for. Hello? Can you guys not hear me? Okay. Yes, okay. So name one thing that, Sharonda, name me one thing that you're grateful for. One thing. Life. Perfect. Give me something else. Somebody else tell me something else that you're thankful for. When you get up in the morning, the first thing you can say, thank God for my life. Okay, and you go down the list of things. Those are positive affirmations. Create your own. Okay, you're grateful and thankful for your kids. That's great. I don't have any children. I have nieces and nephews. So I'm grateful and thankful for my nieces and nephews. And you guys, this may sound like, okay, what does that have to do with real estate? What does that have to do with life? What does that have to do with business? It had, thank God for your job. The just over broke. Okay, cool. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks. Kind of, sort of, until I'm free. I hear you. Yeah, but the thing is, it's so important to wrap your head around your thinking. Is very important to get your mind right. Okay, so much for the positive affirmations. All right, the next thing you can do is get rid of negative people. All right, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, and I know we all have them. Negative people, it could be family members, it could be it doesn't matter, friends. You have children, somebody else, the children, health, amen, your health. You know, with today's time, I mean, you got the Obamacare, you got the insurances, all kinds of crap that's going on, and sound mind, exactly. You know, I mean, there's medication for that, but I'm one of those crazy people. I don't want to have to take medication, but be grateful and thankful every single day when I get up. Sanity, family, absolutely. Family over everything. You know, every single day when I get up, I'm grateful and thankful, okay? I'm kind of hyper. I'm always hyped up. And people, they always ask me, what do you do to get so motivated? I was like, when I wake up every single morning, I'm grateful and thankful. Why? Because there are people who woke up today and they don't even realize they are in existence. Okay, due to some type of medical condition. I mean, you have people with Alzheimer's. So when we sit here and complain about crap and you look at somebody else's situation, what are you complaining about? You don't have anything to complain about. Even if you're in pain, be grateful and thankful for the pain that you have. Why? Because there's somebody else who's paralyzed. They can't even feel anything. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to finish on the mindset, but basically, like I said, we're going to work with the mindset. Start with that and start the way you think. I'm going to go ahead and I'm glad you guys are loving the scope. I appreciate that. I just try to bring value. I don't do a whole lot of rah-rah, hoopla, and all that other crap. I just try to bring the value that I can. Anyway, the next step, and I said I was going to break these up into several steps, but I'm going to go ahead and go into marketing, okay? Any type of business that you own or you plan on having, you need to be able to market, okay? I don't care if you work for an employer, and you have a job, there's some type of way you guys get business, okay? And in real estate, I hope that's not, hopefully that's clear enough. But anyway, as far as marketing is concerned, what is wholesaling? Wholesaling is basically marketing to find people who need to sell a property, okay? And we negotiate with that individual, get the property under contract, and we turn around and sell that contract for a fee, okay? We get paid to do that, all right? With the marketing, who are we marketing to? We target people that are motivated. What's the definition of motivated? Somebody who needs to sell a property. Well, who are those people? People with 2 house payments. Someone who's gone through a divorce. Someone who's gone through a probate where someone passed away. And sometimes with a probate, the person may not have passed away. That individual may be incapacitated and they can't do for themselves. Who else are some of these people? Who are the other people? Job loss, bad tenants where they had to evict a tenant, code violations. Okay, the city has given them code violations. Properties are vacant. There's been a job transfer. I was transferred from my job in Dallas and I moved back to Houston. Absentee owners. With absentee owners, it could be people that live out of state. Okay, we always find problems, and when we find those problems, we turn around and create a solution for those problems. Now, how do we market to these people? Some of my favorite ways of marketing is direct mail. Okay, direct mail being postcards, being yellow letters, being plain letters. I know me personally, I haven't used the yellow letters in a long time, but I use just plain white paper and I type those letters up and I personally sign them and I send them out. Okay? Other marketing, other ways to market. Online, there's Craigslist, websites. They have a website. There's business cards. There's magnetic car signs. There's driving for dollars. Bandit signs. What's up? Hey, what's going on? Who is that? The closer. Who is the closer? The closer. The bandit signs. The deal we just closed, we found the seller via bandit sign, and we found the buyer of that contract. Hey, what's going on, Lamar? It's good. You're killing it. You are definitely killing it down there in Florida. I'm glad to have you on the scope. We found the seller via the bandit sign, and I'll do a totally different scope and break down how we made that $19,000. We found the seller via bandit sign, and we found the buyer via bandit signs. Word of mouth. I let people know what I do. Okay, there's a realtor that called me today. She got my name and my phone number from the guy at the salon, my hairstylist. And, you know, I'm always talking about real estate. I'm always walking around with my Aunt Pam Buys Houses t-shirt on. So, you know, she told me today, she said, I asked Irvin, hey, I need that lady's number. I need to know what she does. Okay. So like I said, you know, word of mouth talking, you know, walk around, have a positive attitude. Try to keep a good name. Okay. When people think about you, you want them to think positive. Okay. But let me see. Anyway, what's the next thing? Word of mouth. Like I said, let people know what you do. Get out of your comfort zone and be different. I'm one of those weird people, you know, when it comes to bandit signs and magnetic signs. We'll put signs out there. Even at church, I have nieces and nephews. I've had t-shirts made on certain Sundays. They'll wear the Aunt Pam Buys Houses t-shirt. You know, just something different. I think a few years ago, when I first started doing the t-shirt thing, my pastor, when he got in the pulpit, he even had his Aunt Pam Buys Houses t-shirt on the pulpit. So, I mean, again, you just have to let people know what you do. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to go. I was only supposed to do the one step, which was the mindset, and I decided to go and go ahead and go on to the marketing. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Because I've been on here a few minutes. So just want to know if anyone has any questions at this time. Great content, first time here. Awesome, Ed. I'm glad to see you on here. I'm glad to see you on here. Anybody have any questions at this time? Seems like we have a lot of seasoned people on the scope tonight. But anyway, like I said, if you don't have any questions, then I guess we can call it a night. But I tell you what, let me see. How's the market in your area? I'm in Houston, Lamar, and the cool thing about Houston, and what's the best marketing? Let me see, what's the words best for marketing? I heard this it's on fire. Okay. Yeah, with Houston is one of those cities, it's always affordable. Okay. We don't have a lot of high appreciation like Arizona did at one time, California and Florida. So in Houston, you have like your lower income areas where you can get stuff for dirt cheap, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, flip them to landlord buyers, okay? Then you have the high-end properties, the $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range, even the $1 million range. We actually have a lead that me and my student is working on. It's in the seven-figure range, but the lady's asking too much, okay? So we're kind of in negotiations, so we just need to put her on the pot and let her simmer for a while. Yeah, Houston is good. Houston, like I said, I love Houston. I started my investments here in Houston, and it's home for me. You can't get brick in Florida too. Are you serious? Yeah, I mean, the property we just picked up, we picked it up for, how much did we pick that property up? We picked it up for 15, and we sold it for 34,000, I think it was. And we gave the seller an extra $500. And we're looking to do another deal with this same seller. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, Houston is good. So how is Florida? I mean, you're doing a lot of short sales, right? Or what are you doing, Lamar? Oh, okay. Townhomes. You know, I haven't had great luck with townhomes, but there are some people, they do really well with townhomes. The problem with townhomes, the HOA fees can Okay, really? That's your, okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, the HOA fees, they can make or break a deal depending upon who you're marketing to and who your buyer and seller is or whatever. Well, it doesn't matter about the seller. Who your buyer is, you have to look at the cash flow. You have the HOA fees. Okay, and what does that cover? Does that cover pick up trash? I mean, all kinds of crap. So you have to really make sure the numbers work. So, yeah, but townhomes are pretty cool. But I've never had any good luck with townhomes. I guess because I'm greedy. So, but anyway, anybody else have any more questions? I'm actually starting to pick back up short sales, getting more about it. Yeah, thank you, Aunt Pam, for the wisdom and being relatable. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try to keep things real. I mean, there's so much junk out there, and we have a few people here in Houston that scope, and we all have some good information, and we just keep it real. There's no reason a lot of people, this business of wholesaling, the concept is very simple. And even if you're looking to be a landlord, when I first got into business, I was a landlord, and I was a full-time pharmacist at the time. So the properties I bought, I paid $5,000 a piece for them, fixed them up, and rented them out. I didn't know anything about wholesaling. And it was two properties I bought side by side, right? $5,000 a piece. Well, I fixed one of the properties up, and one of my brother's friends, he came to me, he said, "Look, Douglas," he said, "yeah, I'll pay you $20,000 for that other house." And I'm like, no, I need cash flow because as a pharmacist, I was in a high income bracket, didn't have any kids, so I'm looking for deductions, right? So I'm like, no, I need tax deductions and all this other crap. I didn't realize basically I was kind of wholesaling, and although I had already bought the property and closed on it, I could have sold that property and made $15,000. But that was not my need at the time. My need at that time was cash flow. And I think that's where a lot of people make a mistake. When they're trying to learn how to do the business, they don't know if they need cash or cash flow. What do you need? If you have a full-time job, do you need cash and cash flow? What do you need? And only you can decide that. This deal was still 65, let's see, purchase price, rehab 19, with man, net, wow, 50, oh man, that's nice. Now, how did you find the deal? And those of you who are on this scope, do you have a wholesale goal for 2016, volume-wise? Me personally, I said I want to make 500 grand next year. We'll see what happens. But what I do, I break my stuff down in little bitty pieces because I'm like ADD, okay? So I'm all over the place. So I focus on one thing at a time, okay? And as far as the assignment fee, I mean, like I said, we just did one for $19,000. All right. There's my fee by myself ranks like 9 to 10, maybe 11 to $12,000. So you can go from 9 to 12,000. Some people do 5. I have some friends it's $50,000. Say for an example, that $600,000 deal that I'm talking about. If we're able to do that deal, we'll be able to make maybe $40,000 to $50,000 just wholesaling that property if we can get the numbers where we need to get them. And somebody was saying something about Eric. If somebody needs a copy of vacant property list, absentee owner list, my boy Eric Torrente with Flip This Real Estate List. We usually do single family, but this was no brand. They have a part of 50-50, but I live it. Yeah, with Eric, flipthisrealestatelyst.com is his website if you want to order lists. I use Real Acquisition here in Houston, so I have access to absentee owners, probate, some of the probate deals. Some of those deals I get them organically. I also have access to delinquent taxes, some of the bankruptcies. Eric gave me this list. Hit him up, people, good stuff. Yeah, Eric is a good guy. Eric is a good guy. And I also know with Eric what he'll do, if you want the absentee owner list, he will also he'll run it through this vacancy deal. So he'll make sure the property is either vacant or occupied. So, I mean, he's good people. So hit him up and tell him Pam Douglas said to be nice to him. He know what time it is. But yeah, with 2016 is here, yes, that's what he did for this deal. Cool. Yeah, I don't get caught up in New Year's resolutions because a lot of time all that stuff end up being is a bunch of lies, okay? I have a tablet. I use the 10X planner sometimes, and with that I write down my goals for that day, for that week, and for that month. And I just try to concentrate on what my goals are at that particular time. So anybody else have anything to say, any other feedback, or you're scared to get started? How many people on here have never ever closed on a deal? What are the rental rates in your area? Oh man, the rent rates, it's crazy because, you got stuff from, $600 all the way to $2,000 or $3,000 a month. It just depends upon what market you're looking at, because some of these deals you've not. Okay, what's holding you back? Who is that? Delayed. Okay, yeah, we'll find out what's holding you back. But anyway, like some of these corporate rentals, you're looking at $3,000 and $4,000. On corporate rents. But I want to say the average is maybe, I don't know, about $900 or something like that here in Houston. But what I do, I take the market area that I'm looking in, and that's what I go by. I don't care about what the whole average of the city of Houston is. It doesn't matter to me. I want to go where I know I can get a property under contract. I'm ready to learn, Pam. Hey, let's get it. That's Tanasha. Let's get it, sister. We got to. Tanasha, she's a pharmacist, and she got to wrap her head around this stuff because we're taught and trained to be analytical. We're taught and trained where everything has to be perfect. This is so crazy. My old self leaving that person behind in 2015. I hear you. But yeah, back to the rental rates. What I do, I find an area. Say for an example, the place that we just closed, we closed on to make that $19,000 in. The rent rates over there range for like $700 to as much as $1,100. Okay, so for us, because we have several buyers in that area, we're constantly marketing to that area. Okay, so for me, anytime I get a deal under contract, and especially like if we put out banner signs, or I may do a text blast to some of my realtor friends, what I'll do when we get so many buyers for a particular area, we just constantly market to that particular area. But I know what areas are rental areas. There are certain areas that are fix and flip, and there are certain areas that when you buy, there's no way, unless you're committing fraud, that you're going to be able to fix and flip that property for a profit, unless it's fraud. Who's next? What's up? The person that's holding you back, why have you not done a deal? Why? I'm a newbie and I'm going out of town for the first time. Do what? I'm a newbie and I'm going out tomorrow. Oh, going out to, you going to do driving for dollars? What you doing tomorrow? And all you guys that's sitting on the fence and fumbling around, my first deal, when I was in Dallas, one of my parents got ill, and I moved back to Houston. So I did a lease with the option to buy for 2 years. Didn't halfway know what I was doing, but I knew my mom was sick and I was moving. I didn't care about anything else. Okay, get off the fence and jump. You ain't lying. And if you don't have any wings, oh well, somebody be down at the bottom to catch you, so you won't fall on the ground. But anyway, the next deal, like I told you. How did you learn the wholesale business? Who did I learn? I actually went, it was Ron LeGrand. Back in the day, he had an infomercial, and, no, let me back up. Yeah, no, that wasn't Ron LeGrand. He had an infomercial, he had a seminar here in Houston, and it was called the Wholesaling and Retailing Boot Camp, where you learn how to wholesale and you learn how to rehab. And I didn't know it, like I said, I didn't know anything about wholesaling. And on that, my very first deal, I just followed the steps that he gave. Even though I was afraid, I followed the steps that he gave. And on that deal, I picked it up for $12,000 or $13,000 and sold it. Do you recommend attending cinema? I answer that in a minute, Tanasha. And that's a yes and a no, big no. But anyway, I turned around and sold that deal for $21,000 or $22,000, and I didn't even halfway know what I was doing. And once I closed and I made that money, hey, it was all gravy at that point. It was just no turning back at that point. Yes, driving for dollars. I'm going to tell you something. There's an app called HomeSnap, 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 that you can download on your phone. And when you click on the property that you're driving by, I want to say it's linked to Zillow or Trulia. When you click on it, it'll give you that information on that property. But at the same time, sometimes, you know, you have to make sure when you pull that property up is the correct property, because I know I've done it and it'll give me information on the property, say next door to that property. So I would jot down the address, or I'll read it into my cell phone. So if you're driving for dollars, what I would recommend. Oh, really? Yeah. It's a great app. What I would also recommend is turn your video recorder on your phone, and that's what I do. I just turn that's who I got. Ron LeGrand. Oh man, he's crazy. I'm gonna tell you, Ron LeGrand was my kind of guy, because I bought my first course from Carlton Sheets, but Carlton Sheets is more of a nah. That's not my personality. I'm more of an in your face type person, and Ron LeGrand was like in your face. You know, and he just told it like it is. So that's why I was able to. And I went to just about every seminar he had, and I think I've spent over $100,000 just going on seminars. I spend more on real estate seminars and education than I did my pharmacy education, trying to be a pharmacist. But what was I saying? Yeah, you get the video recorder out, record the information. Once you get home, listen to the recording, send those people a letter, send those people a postcard, or go knock on their door. Forget about driving and sending them anything. Go knock on the door. If nobody's there, go talk to the neighbors and see what's going on. Pam, what's your average flip spread conservatively from rehab to return? Because I wholesale, I can tell you what my average fee is. My average fee, and I don't spend a lot of money marketing, because I market to free lists, which is evictions I have access to. Okay, so I don't buy lists per se. Okay, but my average fee ranges from $8,000 to $12,000. Oh, my purchase price? Oh, no problem. My purchase price will be $15,000. It could be $5,000. It could be $30,000. I mean, it just varies. I don't go by averages, or I don't go by all of that. Because see, it's certain statistics that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me. What I look for, people who need to sell a house, okay, and I provide a solution. What's that person's problem? Okay, that's what I look at. What is your most profitable lead source? Evictions. I love evictions. Why do I like evictions? Number one, because they're free for me. Number two, because it's an absentee owner. It's free for me. Forget about the free. Number one, it's an absentee owner. Number two, they're having problems with the tenant, which means what? Somebody ain't paying the rent. Number three, 9 times out of 10, the people have torn up the property. Okay, so that's 3 things. Okay, number 4, and the cool thing is, this time of the year, taxes are becoming due. Okay, so when taxes are coming due, sometimes these people have delinquent taxes. So what happens? That's another motivating factor for these people. How do you market? How do I market? We door knock. I don't do bandit signs. I haven't done it in a while, but my student, he loves doing bandit signs. He'll put out, 30 to 40 bandit signs a week. If I wanted to buy in your area, what would the average spread profit for rehab be for me? I have no idea. I don't know who you're going to be marketing to. I don't know who you're going to market to. I don't know. But the average prices in Houston, the average price of a home in the Houston area is like $160,000. So who cares? I mean, when it comes to marketing and being profitable in this business, a lot of it has to do with negotiations and that person's situation. If that person, they own what the property is worth, what can you do with that? The only thing you can do with that, number one, you can put it on the contract, and flip the contract. You can put it on a contract and flip that contract maybe a little higher than what you have it on the contract for, okay? Which may be what? Another owner-occupant, okay? If that person is delinquent in payments, that property may be a short sale. So there's so many different ways. We have a guy right now that he overpaid for the stupid property about 3 or 4 years ago. Here, average, but okay, cool. Okay, he bought the property wrong. He wants $50,000, which is what he owes on it. And I told him the only thing we can do with that property is, number one, we can put it on the contract and shop the deal, or we can do a subject to. And if he's not willing to do a subject to, well, he can just hang on to that property. Okay, but we'll pay cash or terms. We'll give you your price, but it has to be my terms. Mr. Seller, you want $100,000 property? How do you get your? I can't tell you how I get my eviction list. But if you go down to the courts, it's a lot of free lists down there at the courts. Trust me, I've made good money going down to the eviction courts, the hearings. Find out in your area. I'm not sure where you're from. But no, I was just teasing with you. But with the evictions, number one, check with Eric and see if he has the evictions. I'm not sure what area you're in. New York, okay. Okay. In New York, you may be able to get those online. Okay, you need to Google eviction. Hint, she's dropping jewels. Yeah, all day. See, I'll be dropping stuff, but y'all so busy. But what's the average this? Who cares? You just need to find out who needs to sell a house and find a solution and get paid. But yeah, with the eviction list, you're very knowledgeable. Thanks for the great content. Hey, no problem. How long does it generally take you from lead to contract closing? Okay, I'm going to just break up on the one we just did. The lead came in the end of July, okay? Came in the beginning of July. We got it under contract, I want to say the 21st or the 22nd of July. That situation was a probate deal, okay? The lady had gone through probate, however, come to find out, she and another heir owned that property, okay? So once we submitted it over to the title company, they came back and said, well, yeah, Miss Jones owns it, plus this other person who's deceased. So what had to happen? We ended up having to get an affidavit of heirship to get that done, while simultaneously we're shopping this deal. Long story short, we closed that deal. We didn't close it till the end of November. That's when we closed on that deal. No fault of ours, but the lady, we had to go through the process. I mean, if you're lucky, you can get deals closed in 20 or 30 days. But if you do that, you're going to have to get off your patootie, turn the television off, get rid of distractions, all this unnecessarily jargon and crap that you have going on in your life, and you need to drop your money into marketing. You need to drop your money into marketing. But seriously, on that eviction list, go down to the hearings. Find out when they have the eviction hearings in your area. Maybe you can call, even if it may or may not be online. Ask the people at the courts, is this information available online? And like I said, hit up Eric with Flip this real estate list and see if he has access to the evictions in your area. But I want to say in New York, I want to say you may be able to get it online. Yeah. But like I said, when you go to the courts, you sit down and you see what's going on. You learn a lot. You're able to network, especially with property managers, because a lot of times these landlords have property managers that's doing the evictions for them. And you may talk to that property manager, hey, I see you guys just had to evict somebody at 123 Main Street. I'm also in Connecticut and New Jersey. Yeah, one of my buddies, Stephen Cato, is in Jersey, Trenton, I think. But then you go up to that person and say, hey, look, I see you guys just had to evict somebody. Do you think the owner is willing to sell that property? I don't know if he wants to sell. Well, I see you're a property manager. Do you have any other landlords that you're managing properties for who may want to get some quick cash? You got to be able to talk to people. Everybody want to be on the computer and download a list. Nobody wants to go talk to anybody. Door knocking. Door knocking is a great way to get in people's face. Do something that nobody else is going to do. Everybody want to play behind the laptop and mash a button and all the money comes in to your bank account. That's not the way it works. Any more questions? Hopefully this was good and valuable information. I talk a lot and I love sharing information. But on the other scopes, I'm definitely going to go into some details, like answering your telephone. I like your energy. I would love to Jay with that. Hey, bring it on. You saw in my bio that evictyourrealestatefears@gmail.com. Hit me up. hit me up on that Gmail account. I'm one of those hyped up people. I'm telling you, I had to meet an appraiser one time. I was doing a short sale. And for those, thank you so much. For those of you who don't know what a short sale is when the lender agrees to take a discount on the loan. So a person may owe $100,000 and the lender may take $80,000. Who knows? So anyway, so I had to meet the appraiser to get an appraisal on the property. And so in my voicemail message, type of person, okay, now you diagnosing me. Okay, cool. I love it. But anyway, the appraiser, when he left my message, he said, and the next time, just drink one mug of coffee. Don't drink 2 or 3 mugs, because I'm always wired up. So life is good. I love life. Through ups and downs, I lost both of my parents, 2008, 4 months apart, and they were my cheerleaders. I mean, my dad was my bird dog. My dad would help me sell properties. My tenants, they would go to my parents' house to pay their rent. You understand? And there would be times my tenants would borrow money from my parents and say, hey, don't tell Pam I'm borrowing this money. Just stuff like that. But, my parents were... my parents were my people. I loved them to death. So every day I'm just hyped up and grateful and thankful. Because there's some people, my problems, some people wish they had my problems. Love your energy, Pam. Oh, yeah. With Jalal, we got to hit that basketball court. I know you're scared. We got to hit that court. But I got to lay off this cheesecake from Papa's before all that, though. Anybody else have any questions? Hopefully this information has been good for you guys. Waiting on you. Oh, okay, whatever. I'll put the air in my basketball. Oh yeah, replay is always available. And check this out. Do you mentor? Yes, I do mentoring. With the replay, if you go to catch.me, I'm on there. You have to search for Pam Douglas or Aunt Pam. I'm new to that, so I'm not sure how that works, but I know I'm on there. And if you want to be in my Facebook group, send me an email to that evictyourrealestatefears@gmail.com. That's in my bio, and I'll put the replay link in there as well. But yeah, definitely replay. Definitely replay. And we only went over the mindset. We went over marketing a little bit. They answering the phone. You're welcome. Pre-screening the prospects. We got to do that. Then what else we got to do? Hold on a minute. Still trying to fool this. Okay. Doing your due diligence. Negotiating and constructing offers. Following up. Putting the stuff under contract. And at the end of the day, let me move this around. File a memorandum. Where's the next thing? The last thing is going to be step 13. Repeat the process. That's very important. Most people don't want to do that. Okay, after you get paid, what do? You start all over. And when you start all over, what do you start with? That mindset. Because just because you got a little check that time, you get into more, oh yeah, baby, I got $12,000, $13,000. Yeah, you forget about putting about 10 or 20% back in the marketing. You go out and spend all your money at the mall and all this other kind of stuff. Go out and put $10,000 down on a car. I don't know what you do. But you got to repeat that. Thank you so much. Much love for you too. But you got to repeat the process. You got to repeat the process. It does not stop. And this wholesaling stuff, this stuff has been around for ages. My dad used to wholesale lots. Do you file a memorandum on deals down here? The snakes are running rampant. Yeah, you know what? I don't file them that often. I try to get a feel for the seller, but sometimes you just never know. You just never know. It doesn't hurt to file them. But but the thing is, you have people, we had a guy, he was like, well, if you're not the owner of the house, then, I could just go to the owner and get it for cheaper. I'm like, okay, well, you do what you think you have to do, but when you hear things like that, and if you don't have a good relationship and you don't have you didn't build good rapport with that seller, that person may go around you. I'm sure you've had your share of bass. Oh yeah, people crazy. Yeah, when it comes to money, people are freaking nuts because everybody's greedy. Everybody's greedy. Yep. I'm enjoying myself. The Texans won today. All we need tomorrow is Cincinnati to win, and we'll win the AFC South. So I got all day. I'm supposed to go to the gym in the morning with my student. So I ain't got nothing else to do. Anybody else got any questions? What do you guys have planned for the week? Tuesday, I'm meeting a private lender and another investor here in Houston. What are you guys doing this week to work on your business? Is your Is this your first Periscope, Pam? No, this is like my third or fourth, something like that. But that stuff only saves for 24 hours, but I'm set up with catch.me, so anything that I did today is going to be on there. You going to the courthouse? Awesome. That's nice action. I love it. I love it. I love it. Go to the courthouse. Don't go to get married. Go down to, well, you know what? You could go to the divorce court. You may be able to find some decent leads. I don't know. Yeah, but Sharonda, this is, I think, third, fourth, something like that. I don't remember. Probates. Oh, girl, I'm going to tell you something. Those probates, and the cool thing about probates, I know here in Houston, when you say probate, most people automatically think about a death, okay? When it comes to probate, there are several types of probate. Okay, someone may have passed away. That's one. Number two, it could be an individual who's incapacitated, which could be an elderly individual, like a parent who's incapacitated, so they have to go through the probate courts. Why? Because they cannot handle their own regular financial affairs. So they may have one of their children or an attorney. We need more scopes from you. You're doing great. Thank you. I'm going to bring it as much as I can. As long as y'all give me hearts, I'm going to give you scopes. You give me hearts, I give you scopes all day. But anyway, with the probates, like I said, it could be a situation where the person is incapacitated, which means what? They can't do for themselves. So that's in the probate, is what the probate courts as well. Okay, you have situations where it's a doctor's letter. I know here in Harris County, you can get a doctor's letter for a parent or someone, and you can become that person's guardian. So that goes to the probate courts. So if you go down there looking for probates, don't start sending letters talking about, I'm sorry for your loss and you have my condolences. What if this person hadn't died? So you need to find out if they have real estate and find out if they actually passed away. So you have to be careful. You know, I had, when my parents died, we did some probate stuff, and I started having people market to me saying, first of all, they had the wrong person's name on the thing. That kind of ticked me off, but I didn't say anything. But you just have to be careful. Yeah, but probates are good. Number one, somebody may have passed away, or like the other circumstances, property may be vacant, property may need repairs, especially if they're an elderly person and they're going into a nursing home or something like that, and they can't handle their own affairs. These people, they don't have the money to fix up a house. You know, a roof probably falling in and stuff like that. So those are good deals as well. Next question, who else is going somewhere besides the probate courthouse? Anybody else? Somebody else saying they're driving the car. What kind of legal structure is best for a wholesaler? I'm going to be honest with you. When I first got into business, I was a landlord, didn't do a business. I was working as a sole proprietorship, okay? Now I have two LLCs. One is a buying company and one is a management company. But let me tell you something. Don't get caught up in LLCs. Should I do an S-Corp, Inc., and all this other kind of crap? You need to focus on marketing and making some money. You understand? Marketing and making money. So don't get caught up in the LLCs and all this other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do that, but I don't want you to set up, well, I can't, I got to get my fax machine, and I got to get my desk, and I got to get with the Secretary of State, I got to get my LLC, and then you spend all this money, and you don't even have two nickels to rub together to do any marketing. You understand what I'm saying? Go out and start doing your marketing. And get you some motivated sellers. Because an LLC with no assets, or an LLC with no contract means nothing. Now, let me just say this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a realtor. I'm not a loan officer. I'm not a CPA and all that other stuff. But I'm just keeping it real. Any more questions? No more questions? So y'all ready to go, right? Hold on, let me see. To the country. Y'all must be, your fingers hurting or something? Y'all scared to type? Y'all need to get you a stylus pen. All you have to do is punch okay. No more questions? Okay, cool. Oh, you're welcome. All right, guys. I don't know how long I've been on here, but if no one how often do you have these videos? I actually just started, I just started doing Periscope, and so I just started this week. However, I have a couple of YouTube channels, So evict your real estate fears. If you subscribe to that, I'm going to start uploading videos on that. I have some videos where I went over an eviction cold call, I think it was. Yeah, eviction cold call. And a couple of other videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen in to the information that I'm willing to share. I'm always willing to share. What's your take on fire? Oh man, let me tell you something. Fire damage properties. Me and another investor, we that play. That's where your money is as well. What was I going to tell you? With fire damage, we picked this deal up for, how much did we get this thing under cut? $19,000, and we sold it for $30-some thousand, and we made $12,000 on that deal. But those are sweetheart of a deal, because a lot of times the people already got the insurance money, and so anything above that is gravy. So, see, I used to run from stuff. I mean, when I first got in this business, I'm like, man, I wouldn't bid more about this junk. But that's where your money is. The uglier, the better. All day. The uglier, the better. You know, don't look at the property as a property you're going to live in. You're looking at an investment, and you're trying to provide for, number one, you're trying to provide a solution for a person who need out of a solution. And at the same time, you're trying to provide a house for an individual or a family who needs somewhere to live. That's what you're trying to do. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, but fire, baby, look, hey, I don't know if you have access to that stuff online, but try to get it. I know in Houston, and I've never done this, but you can actually go through the open records to get access to fire damage properties or code violations and things like that. And every city and county is different, so you have to do your homework. Talk to people. Is fire too big for a newbie? You're not going to put it, the fire's already been put out, okay? All you're doing is doing what? You're negotiating the deal, okay? If the price is right, you get that thing on a contract and you shop and sell that contract. As a wholesaler, unless you close on that deal, you do not own that property. So you're selling a contract for a profit. That's all you're doing. And find out the people in your area. You can put out bandit signs. Fire damage property for sale. You know, calling all firefighters. Fire damage property for sale. Put this fire out. It's a good deal. It's a fire sale. Tore up from the floor. Cheap. Dirt cheap. Period. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm so serious. You know, what's the difference between, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a tore from the floor, burn up house than it is a house that's, I don't know, the roof is caving in and it's water there? What's the difference? What's the difference? Now get your contract. I mean, you want to be able to get estimates, and that's one of the things, and one of my steps I go over, let me see, trying to, the repair estimate. Get you a contractor on your team, and don't be one of those people who always want something for free, okay? And you never do business with the people, okay? You can try to find somebody to get you an estimate on the rehab. Let them, if you're new, hey, look, I'm new to the business, and, you know, I'm looking to wholesale properties, and I'm going to need to get an estimate on it. I mean, pay the person gas money, but what I was going to say, Hammer Point is one of those, and see, I'm skipping steps. I wasn't supposed to give you guys this tonight, but Hammer Point is a free website, and you see right here, all local contractor. A website you can go and plug in information and give you an estimate of repairs, and the repairs are kind of high, you know, so, but you can talk to a contractor and get an estimate of repairs. And if you want to use that wholesale formula, you can use it. But you do this the same thing. But find out who buys fire damage properties in your area. All right, anybody else have any questions? If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. And hopefully you guys have finding some true value in this info. If you find true value in this info, do me a huge favor. Can you share this with some of your friends and some of your followers? Share it on Twitter for me, because there are going to be people who's going to need the same information. So, you know, share the love with everybody else. I believe in sharing. Sharing is caring. Well, that's what they say anyway, so. Any more questions? Going once? Going twice? Cool, I appreciate that. Yeah, because what's going to happen, there are going to be people who want to see the replay, okay? So, I'll review this video again. Oh, cool, yeah, because I talk real fast. Like I said, I think I have ADD. I just have not been officially diagnosed, but I know I do. So, and I talk kind of fast. So some people may not have been able, will you share your wisdom with us? Absolutely, that's what I'm doing. Yes, sir, all day. I believe in sharing. That's what I do. But I'm going to tell you something. There's so much money to be made in this world. There's not enough people in this world to help as many people that need to be helped. There's so much money in this world. We don't have enough people to get it. Why? Because people have a scarcity mentality. Yeah, nobody wants to share any information. Nobody wants to share. But like I said, share it with your followers. Tweet it out. Do what you got to do. If you want me to keep talking to you and bringing you good stuff. Yep. Yeah. We'll go over negotiating. We'll go over doing due diligence. We'll go over all of that stuff. Putting stuff on the contract. Filing. Somebody asked about the memorandum earlier. We'll talk about, doing the memorandum, the title company, the HUD. We'll talk about all that stuff.